Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of TC's Top 10 Picks Against the Spread. So, we got big slate of football games this weekend, especially in the world of college football, and I'm really excited about these potential matchups and kind of how they'll play out. The first one on tap for today's episode is number 16 Mississippi State going on the road to take on number 22 Kentucky, who is coming off of 2 straight losses after starting the season undefeated. And Will Levis, their starting quarterback, is also dealing with a little bit of an injury right now. So who knows if he's even close to 100% right now. And I kind of highly doubt he is. And the line in Vegas shows Mississippi State minus 3.5. I'm going to take the Bulldogs of Mississippi State to cover the spread and beat Kentucky on the road. Next one is 7th ranked USC going on the road to take on 20th ranked Utah, who's coming off of their first loss of the season last week at UCLA. And they had started the year off really strong, but they've kind of hit that point in the season where it's kind of prove it time for them. And obviously they came up short against UCLA. And USC has just looked like the USC of old when they had Pete Carroll as their head coach and Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush playing there. So they are just borderline dominant right now. And I would say out of the Pac-12, they are the favorite to go to the college football playoff from that conference. But the line in Vegas shows Utah minus 3.5, and I'm not entirely sure why. I think they're just begging people to bet on USC, which is exactly, if I were a gambler, exactly what I'd be doing. I'm picking USC to win the game outright. Like, not even against the spread by itself, like, entirely. Like, I think USC wins, and I think they win big. Probably double digits, to be honest with you, no matter what the spread says. So, and we have another ranked versus ranked matchup in 15th ranked North Carolina State, traveling to upstate New York to take on 18th ranked undefeated Syracuse. And Syracuse just became ranked last weekend, the same weekend as KU. And KU hosted College Game Day last weekend and thought the Jayhawks were going to pull off a big win, and they didn't. So, yeah, anyway. So, the line in Vegas shows Syracuse minus 3.5. And I don't know, NC State looked pretty strong in the beginning, and they're kind of hitting a little bit of a rough patch, so I'm going to take Syracuse to cover the spread on Saturday. So, and now, before we get into the battle of the unbeatens, there's 3 of those matchups this weekend. But before we get to those, there is a big rivalry game taking place this weekend. Duke versus North Carolina. Tar Heels are going down the road a little ways to take on the Blue Devils. And I don't even care what the spread was. I'm picking the Tar Heels, baby. Go Heels! Now let's transition to 3 battles of the unbeatens this weekend. The first one of which is 10th ranked Penn State going to the Big House to take on the Michigan Wolverines. The line is Michigan minus 7. So against the spread, I'm picking Penn State, but I think Michigan wins the game outright, but I think it's going to be by a field goal. And the next matchup is 3rd ranked Alabama, which is weird because they haven't lost yet, but anyway, they're down to number 3 in the country, and now they're taking on Tennessee in Knoxville at Rocky Top. And in spite of Bryce Young's playing status being up in the air, even as recently as today, um, the line in Vegas still shows Alabama -9. And I know you typically don't bet against Nick Saban, you don't typically bet against Alabama, but give me the Tennessee Volunteers to win the game outright in Knoxville. College game day is going to be there, and surely I'm going to get one of these right one of these times. So yeah, Tennessee over Alabama. You heard it here first. And yes, that is a bold prediction, but I feel very sure about this. Now, the next matchup is 8th ranked Oklahoma State, the Cowboys, traveling to Fort Worth to take on 13th ranked TCU, who just beat KU last week to hand KU their first loss when College game day came to town. And this team looks pretty stellar. And the line is TCU -4. So I'm not going to lie. Give me TCU against the spread. They'll cover. And now that we've gone through the college slate, I've picked 3 NFL games, per the usual, to pick against the spread. The first one is Ravens at the Giants. And the line is Ravens -5.5. So I think the Ravens win the game, but I think the Giants will make sure that Baltimore can't cover the spread. So against the spread, I'm taking the Giants, but I think the Ravens still win the game. So, and then in another battle of the birds, like there was last weekend, with the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The line is Cardinals -2.5. To be honest, because I'm not entirely sure what the Cardinals are even supposed to be right now, and James Conner has already been medically ruled out of that game, I'm going to take the Seahawks to win the game outright. And I don't think it's really that bold of a prediction, because Geno Smith has actually looked pretty solid this year, and he's actually looked solid for the first time in his entire career, to be honest, since he got to the league. I don't think he's looked this good since he was in college at West Virginia, so yep, I will take the Seahawks outright. And then there's the big NFC East showdown on Sunday Night Football. Cowboys at the Eagles in Philadelphia. Lincoln Financial Field is going to bring the energy. That fan base has really come alive this year. And Vegas is showing that with the line of Eagles -6.5. Now, before all you Eagles fans get up in arms because I'm picking the Cowboys against the spread, sort of like the Giants and Ravens game, I'm picking the Cowboys against the spread, but the Eagles, I think, will win the game outright, and then the Cowboys are going to be like, hey, Dak, you able to throw a football? You able to get back out there and play? Because Cooper ain't so hot anymore. We finally lost the game. And now we need you back on the field. So that's basically how it's going to be. In my opinion, even though they shouldn't rush Dak back from the injury, I think a loss on Sunday night is going to put pressure on the organization to bring Dak Prescott back from the injury, even though they can afford to wait a couple weeks until their bye week and then just bring Dak back after that. I feel like that would make the most sense for both sides, but what do I know? I'm just some idiot that watches football and has done so for 28 years. So anyway, so in the first episode, I went 5-5 against the spread, and last week I also went 5-5 against the spread. So I'm hoping for a winning week this week. I know I'm not going to go undefeated ever, but even just 6-4, I'd be satisfied with that. So hopefully my picks go better this week than they have the first 2 weeks. And good luck to all the teams out there playing this weekend and all the players and coaches. And let's play some football.